About a shooting that happened in Buffalo, Minnesota today. That's been the big story that we have been following. The latest we had was 5 injured in this shooting at a local health clinic. We have one of our very own Fox reporters from Fox 9 in Minnesota, Mitty Hicks. She is live on the grounds there. Mitty, we're hearing that there has been some new updates about the conditions of these shooting victims. What do you have for us?
Well, good evening, Daytona. That's right. What we know right now is 5 people were injured in that incident, and at least 3 people are in critical but stable condition. And just looking around here, it's still very much an active scene here. And just to give you some perspective, we're about an hour northwest of Minneapolis. This is a town of about 16,000 people. And again, it's still an active scene going on here. Police responding to that active shooter situation here that took place at 11 o'clock local time this morning. So right now we see the county sheriff's office here. We see the Buffalo City Police here. We also see ATF because police believe that there were some explosives involved.
And Mitty, let's talk a little bit about the suspect, because one of the other big aspects of this story is that he is now in custody. I actually have his mugshot up here, and I'm going to pull it up so everyone can see. What are we learning about him tonight?
Yeah, well, we're learning that 67-year-old Gregory Ulrich, and police have not expressed if there's any motive behind this shooting, but we do know at this time that this specific hospital was targeted. Now, we're not sure if he was a former employee or not, but there are some reports saying that he was upset with his medical care here. So he specifically targeted this hospital, which he is from.
And Mitty, I'm just, we've covered all the details all day today, been staying up to date on everything. I want to know what it feels like out there. This is a smaller town, I'm assuming, a little bit off the beaten path. How is everyone in the community reacting tonight now that there's been some time for it to set in what actually happened earlier this morning?
That's right. As you mentioned, a very small community. We're talking 16,000 people. And when you put that in perspective to the largest city near Minneapolis, about 1 million people, this really has affected people in this community. Earlier today, we called the schools. There are at least 2 schools nearby. The elementary school that we know of, a spokesperson with the school district says they had to be evacuated to the area hospital where parents are picking up their students from that high school. Again, in a town of 16,000 people, this isn't something you would expect.
And last question for you, Mitty. There was reports of suspicious packages in the hospital and nearby. Is everything pretty much settled for tonight? People are allowed to be out and about in the community, or is it still pretty much blocked off where you're at?
Yeah, where we're at, it is absolutely still blocked off. Again, it's still early in this investigation. You still have the Buffalo police out here. You still have the county sheriff's office here. You have ATF here because they are still investigating. So we have no word if explosives were found, and we don't know if so, how many.
Okay, Mitty Hicks out there on the ground in Buffalo, Minnesota. We appreciate you giving us the very latest. 3 shooting victims in critical but stable condition tonight. Praying for all those families. Mitty, thanks.
Thanks, Daytona.
And we're going to continue to follow this story as obviously new developments are still coming out. She hit the nail on the head. The investigation is still underway, so we'll be keeping our eyes on that developing situation in Buffalo, Minnesota, coming out just this morning during impeachment time. Obviously, busy news day per usual. We were expecting this. I'm going to send some of you off to a 2-minute commercial break. We'll leave you with this live look of the White House. When we come back, a couple stories we weren't able to get to today, including what President Biden was up to, along with Vice President Kamala Harris and the new Treasury Secretary, as they are hitting it hard in this economic relief package.